Kashyyyk was a major point of conflict throughout not only the Clone Wars, but continued to be an Imperial stronghold and rebel target throughout the Galactic Civil War as well. Now, after seeing that Kashyyyk will play a role in the upcoming Fallen Order game, it got me thinking, why were both Rebels and the Empire so desperate to have control over this world? Now, we do actually have a video out similar to this one on why the Separatists invaded Kashyyyk in the first place and why it was so important. Here we largely talked about its positioning in the mid-rim across a major trade route. And to a huge military force like the CIS, this makes it a very tempting target, and to the Empire, it makes it a useful stronghold, as it allows them to heavily monitor and regulate trade, and cut off enemy supply lines. So to big militaries, it's very important. However, to a small force of insurgents with limited capital ships and resources, they aren't in any real position to hold it, so this isn't a reason the rebels would ever be on Kashyyyk. Now, as well as all this, we know that Kashyyyk had a plentiful supply of resources, particularly oil. This is largely due to the Wookiees' conservation of the world, therefore it offered a wealth of natural untapped resources that were essential to the Empire in order to continue building up its massive military, feed its troops, and fuel its fleets. Therefore, Kashyyyk was invaluable to the Empire. This explains why they're there, and that's probably going to be a major plot point in Fallen Order. However, again, the rebels would never be able to hold the world from the Imperial might and lashback. They also lacked the resources to actually run any sort of factories. The rebels bought and stole all their equipment, they couldn't really afford to make it themselves. It's likely Saw Gerrera and the other rebels' mission here is mostly in the interest of stopping the Imperials from being able to take the wealth of the world as opposed to getting it themselves. But all this beckons the question, why do the rebels seem to be so interested in this world? After all, there's plentiful supplies of worlds out there that are already having all of their resources stolen by the Empire. So why is Kashyyyk so important? And I strongly believe it's mostly due to the native Wookiees. As we know, the Empire used the residents of the world as slaves. They were physically strong and very smart, and this made them the ideal workforce. Now, Sidious saw that he could exploit them by removing their classification as sentients, therefore meaning that anti-slave laws didn't apply to them. For this reason, it was very important to the rebels that they helped the Wookiees in every possible way. Not only due to the obvious ethical reasons, but because they would make very strong allies. They were capable warriors and engineers, both things that the rebellion was lacking. It's for this reason why in many battles we actually see Wookiees fighting with the rebellion. Because they aren't just fighting for political differences or against tyranny, but they're fighting for their very right to be seen as sentient beings. Something that they'd enjoyed for over a millennia under the Republic. Because if they didn't fight, they were seen as nothing more than a resource, as opposed to people. And that's a very strong motivation. It's also important to the rebels that they didn't want the galaxy to just accept Sidious's decree that Wookiees were no better than beasts. When Sidious first decreed this, it shocked many people and senators. A lot of them didn't agree with it, however over time people become complacent and they accept these things. This isn't good, as if people become comfortable with the Empire's decree, then they're just going to start seeing Wookiees as nothing more than slaves. And this is just going to drive an anti-alien sentiment. We know that Sidious did the same thing to the Mon Calamari, so whatever species could come next, he could literally just strip away the rights of an entire species overnight if he wanted to. It's for these reasons why I believe the rebels are compelled to get as many Wookiees out of slavery as possible, so they could continue to live their lives and show the people of the galaxy that they weren't simply mindless beasts. I actually do believe that this might be a point of conflict between Saw Gerrera and the Jedi protagonist in Fallen Order. As we know, Saw was a soldier, he wanted to make the Empire bleed. And this means that there's going to be casualties, so someone like him is going to be far more focused on destroying Imperial facilities as opposed to protecting innocents, whilst the Jedi's code will be very different. They will want to focus on rescuing Wookiees over destroying and killing Imperials. So it'll be quite interesting to see how that plays out. As we know, later on in the Galactic Civil War, Saw and the Jedi do have a lot of conflicting views. Now, hopefully these will be key points during Fallen Order's time on Kashyyyk, freeing the oppressed peoples and ridding the world of a tyrannical grip. But what do you think? Why are the rebels so interested in Kashyyyk? And how excited are you for Fallen Order? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching, please remember to like, share and sub as it's really appreciated and it helps the channel grow. Also don't forget to follow me on Twitter at TheLoreGuy and tick the bell for regular updates. I really do hope that you did enjoy this content, but most importantly, thank you so much for watching, thank you for the support, and I'll see you next time.